going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Oscar BEVIS, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Velar. Sam Jones joins me. Sam, you look a little bit stressed. Boxing just one of them games?
Sorry, Oscar.
Said you look a little bit stressed. I said boxing is just one of them games.
No, mate, I've got a lot of stuff I'm doing at the moment. It's all hit me at once, but no, I'm all good, mate. You?
Good, mate. I'll say good to see you. I haven't seen you for a very long time, actually. Yeah, how's just life in general away from boxing?
Managed to grow a beard, get a girlfriend, and yeah, you're doing it at the moment, Oscar. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Coming from you, of all people.
That's all right, mate.
King of the beards. I know, obviously, you haven't got too much time because you've got a busy couple of days, actually. Let's talk about why we're here. Josh Warrington.
Yeah.
Going to be an amazing atmosphere on Saturday. And it's one of them where you don't want to look too far ahead, but really you want Josh to put a performance on here and go for the massive unification.
He looks a good fighter. He looks a really good fighter, and Josh has got his hands full. And I know Josh has got aspirations to go and fight in the States, like he's had for a while. But he's got his hands full. But I think he'll get the job done, and I think he'll look pretty good doing it. And then hopefully Josh gets a big night in the States, because he deserves it now. Josh, he's been around a while.
Is it very typical that when a Mexican comes over, especially after perhaps the way the last 3 or 4 years have gone, everyone just goes, he's a puncher, I've seen a couple highlight reel knockouts, saw what he done to Isaac Lowe, and everyone's like, we should be really scared.
But you look at the team sheet, yeah, and you see a Mexican on there, you're like, oh God. But no, listen, he's going to come to fight, isn't he? He's going to come to fight, and Josh has got his hands full.
What unification would you like to see if you could choose for Josh?
Against Lee Wood. Yeah. I'd like to see Lee Wood. Or Mick Conlan. I'd like to see, I know it's not a unification, but I'd like to see Josh fight. Look at, what about Josh Warrington against Mick Conlan at MSG? Imagine, Mick has his cult following in New York, with the Irish there, and imagine how many Leeds fans would go to New York. It'd be a massive, massive night, that would.
Yeah, that would be huge. And obviously with Josh and Lee, I suppose it brings that kind of cup final 50-50.
And the Leeds fans, I mean, that's carnage, isn't it? So yeah, there's your little circle of fights there. You can do. That's what I mean. You don't always have to go searching. Like, there's some great fights there. That can be Josh's American night. Do you know what I mean? In the MSG, it don't really get any bigger than that.
Yeah, some really good fights down the line for Josh. Let's talk about the weekend. Fury Chisora. Yeah. Not the fight we wanted, but the fight we got, and perhaps the fight we expected as well.
Listen, I've said, but people just ask my opinion. I'm not really qualified to say, oh, he should have been pulled out. But I just have to give my opinion from what I saw. I just think he took 4 or 5 rounds too much stick, and I think Don Charles should have pulled him out a lot earlier. Well, he didn't pull him out. I know that Victor Loughlin stopped the fight. Great referee, but I just think it should have ended before. Derek Chisora don't have to prove nothing to nobody of how tough he is. He spent a career showing people how tough he is. He don't have to show how tough he is. He just doesn't. Everyone knows Derek would have fought Tyson Fury until his last breath. So I just think 4 or 5 rounds too much stick, and should have been pulled out. We don't need to divulge into that. We know it was a bit of a mismatch, but what's Derek meant to do? Turn down a 7-figure payday and a world heavyweight title shot? Of course he isn't. Derek's always going to take it. And listen, I've got so much love and respect for Derek, and I just hope he makes the right decision for his family and his own health going forward.
Yeah. I know a lot of fighters have perhaps said this before in fights, but do you genuinely believe that Tyson Fury could have perhaps stopped that fight earlier and it was dragging on a bit?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Derek Tyson was just more. He wasn't planting his feet. He was just kind of going through the motions as if it was a spar kind of thing. I mean,
is that like getting rounds in terms of practice, future thinking, bro?
Maybe. I just think you just heard, like you saw in the first round, Tyson stiffen his legs with a right hand. I'm like, oh my God, I had genuinely seen enough after round 3. So it is what it is, Oscar. It is what it is. I mean, just I like what I said. I've given my opinion on it. I've said it so many times, and I'm not telling people, oh, don't take this fight. That fight shouldn't happen. The fight happened. It was what we expected. Derek Chisora is okay, and that's the main thing.
Yeah. And the afters as well with Joyce and Usyk. I know Frank would have been sitting there laughing, going, "This is all in my hand. This is perfect." And for the fans, it was brilliant. There's 2 fights there for Tyson in any order that are just absolutely unreal.
Listen, this is what it is, right? As I want to see Joe get a massive fight, and the massive fight is Tyson Fury. And believe me when I tell you, I know people can say whatever they want. That is Tyson Fury's hardest night. Win, lose or draw, that is Tyson Fury's hardest night against Joe Joyce. Trust me on that. Mark what I've said. Remember that I just said those words. I promise you that is his hardest night. Usyk deserves the undisputed fight, so does Tyson. Boxing needs the undisputed fight, so let's hope we see that next, and then the winner can fight Joe Joyce, which I believe the winner will be Tyson Fury.
Just your thoughts on Daniel Dubois' performance. Obviously showed some vulnerability. He's got clipped early, but did come back and win the fight.
I said this about Daniel Dubois. I believe Daniel Dubois needs to take a few steps back to get a few steps forward. I think he needs to get rid of that belt. He don't need that belt. It's just causing unnecessary issues and putting unnecessary pressure on him. He needs to go and fight David Adelaide, Fabio Wardley, have some domestic fights. He's 24 years old. I don't understand this rush to get Daniel Dubois to the top. Daniel Dubois has got an elite jab. He's got devastating power. He's got loads of tools. He's got a good coach. Let him develop. What's this urgence, this urge to get him to fight Fury, fight AJ? He ain't ready for that yet. He's not ready for a Joe Joyce fight yet. Joe Joyce would do the same thing to Daniel Dubois again. So leave that alone. Let those guys kind of leave and let the new breed of heavyweights come through it. Just take a few steps back. Take it easy. He's 24 years old.
No, 100%. One final thing, and obviously you're flying tomorrow to Japan for Inoue-Butler. A fight where Paul, as we've seen, is going to get written off. I'm not being funny, Paul's come through some big challenges in his career and he's well worthy of this fight. And don't write him off.
Listen, Paul Butler has been around for a long time. He deserves this night, right? Everyone's wrote him up. No one's given him a chance. But listen, Joe Gallagher's bang up for it. Paul looks bang up for it. Let's get behind him and let's support him. Do you know what I mean? He's up against it. Everyone knows he's up against it. He's arguably against one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, great. Let's get behind him.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.